I'll try now whether it works. Okay, hello, and yeah, welcome back. You don't know this, but actually, I've already filmed, like, not as long ago, a video like this where I just share my thoughts, feelings, everything that's on my mind with you. But actually, I gotta do it again already. So yeah, it's like there's a lot going on in my mind, and I think I could talk about a lot of topics right now, but I will try to focus on the topic that originally brought me to record this video now, although I've already recorded one this week. Okay. Sorry, that was a heavy introduction, or maybe a confusing one. Today, I think I will just start sharing my thoughts, and while doing that, you will see what my thoughts are and what the topic is. What's on my mind right now is finding your area of work, your job that you want to do in the future, and everything that comes into that topic. Because for me, it's not been easy, and I still don't know for sure what I want to do, or yeah, well, let me get to that. Also, hopefully there's no background noise because some people are doing, I don't know what, but something that is loud inside our house. So yeah, hopefully you won't have to hear that as well, and it's just me. But let's start. For me, it's just like there are these people that have known forever what they want to do when they grow up. That's how you say it. Like, I don't know when that time is. When am I a grown up? I mean, there are like different stages where you are allowed to do this, and that, but still, like, when are you that person that has to know what they want to be, has to know so many other stuff, and yeah, it's just like fully immersed in adult activities. Also, what are adult activities? Let's not talk about that. The definition of a grown up is a topic for another video, maybe. But yeah, what I wanted to say is that there are these people that have always known what they want to do with their life, job wise or career wise. And there's people like me who don't know, or yeah, haven't always known. There are, of course, things that are interesting to me, but there's like not one specific thing that I would say I would want to work in this job or even an area sometimes, to be honest, for the rest of my life. And I've struggled with it a lot. There are different things that are interesting to me and where I could see myself, but there was like no specific thing. And for a long time, I also always thought that I want to go studying after school, but then when it came to that, I also wasn't sure if I even want to study, if that's for me. But then I thought, yeah, I already have that degree, so I probably should do that. And honestly, I'm glad that I did that. It made me into the person that I am now, and also I do think it was the right decision for me. Doesn't mean that it is the right decision for everyone. And that's another topic, how education and formal education is constructed and is regarded as being better. But yeah, you see, like, my thoughts are all over the place. But I started studying, and it's still like my bachelor's degree was so broad. Like, there are endless areas that are connected to that topic because it was about a lot of things, but it was also about international stuff, and kind of every area nowadays has a relation to the international context, and maybe you can even work in a different country, and yeah, there are a lot of options. And the subject that I'm studying now is also very broad, but it's not as broad, I would say, but kind of still, because of my background as well, and because always it has to do with your background and your interests and what you make of it, and not just what is given to you, kind of. But I also realized that sometimes there are specific things that you need to have in order to be able to do that in the future. And now I think I realize that more, because I have, like, there are some things that I could see myself in, but I haven't done that, or maybe even won't do that, or it's too late, or, well, not really too late, but I haven't been going that way, so it would be like longer now if I wanted to do that, and I think that's okay. Like, if I really wanted to do that, I mean, I could still go that way. But it's also me realizing that if you chose one thing, then you chose that thing, and it's harder to get into that other thing. And for me, I think it's understandable, and especially in some areas more than others. Yeah, it's just there are so many obstacles or things that make it hard for you, even if maybe you would be the right person for that specific position, but you need that and that qualification, and you may be able to get it, but way harder than other people, but just because of different circumstances, because you started studying then and then, or you started studying this instead of that, though it's really similar, but it's not quite the same. Yeah, and I think, yeah, that's just, I don't know. I mean, I always knew that, but lately that's just been on my mind, because I feel like I now have a clearer vision of what I would like to do in the future, or at least like things that would be important in my future job and also my future career. But of course, you're always changing. To be honest, that's my favorite quote. Change is the only constant in life. And that's so true. Like, what you want to do now doesn't have to be the same thing that you want to do later. And I mean, for some people, that might even be the case. And I think there are also a lot of people who don't want to have that many different things in their life and that many changes in that aspect. Also, because, of course, there are so many other things in life that you can change and that will happen. And I think sometimes it's easier to stick to a routine, or, yeah, not to have to step out of your comfort zone always, because, of course, if you're changing careers or even just jobs, it's first to step out of your comfort zone most of the time. I think for me, it's also, I I realize that I also don't want to always change jobs. I think it's also very nice to have like colleagues and people that you already know and know, yeah, what are their abilities, and also like personally maybe even know. But I'm still open to trying new things, and I think also more now than, well, back in the day, I think it was a lot more common that people worked in the same area, or, well, even in the same job for their entire life. And I think nowadays it's not as common anymore. People change jobs more, and it's also because of, yeah, there's like so much change in our society as well, always happening at the moment. So I think it's kind of, yeah, more the way to go. But of course, there are also people that still want to do one thing and one job. And to be honest, when I was younger, I really admired that, and I was like, why can't I be like that? Why do I always want to have something new, to want change? Why can't I just stick with one thing? Like, not that if I started one thing and I want to do that thing, then I will also finish it. It's not like I will just quit, or I can't decide on anything, because if I decide on something, then I will also do it. But it's just that I have so many interests, like I said before. And yeah, I was so jealous of those people, because I thought, yeah, they have their life kind of figured out and they know what they want to do, so they also know what they will have to do in order to get to that point. And of course, they have to do that, but also they know what to do, and then at least that part of their lives is already figured out, kind of, because there are so many other things that are uncertain, that change. For example, relationships, to name one thing, because that's already a really big thing in a human's life. Yeah, but I also realized that that's how I see it. But also, if you have a specific plan, sometimes it's really hard to get there. For example, if you need formal education, it takes a long way. It takes years and years and years. And if you don't have the specific grade, then you have to wait until you can actually start studying, for example. And then, sorry, I just wanted to check if it's still recording. Yeah, so then it's like still a very long, just in general, very long way to go, or even longer if like you have to fulfill specific criteria or have to have certain qualifications. And yeah, so it's also not easy for them just because they know what they want. And I think now I've come to terms with that, and it's like way easier for me to be confident in myself and in the fact that I am not like these people, but we are all okay, we are all on the right track. Like there's no right and there's no wrong, there's no right way to do life. And maybe sometimes it feels harder, but other people have other struggles. And yeah, there's literally nothing that could be better as long as you're kind of happy with it. And also, you don't always have to be happy, you don't always have to be content. And a lot of people, and it's normal to not feel like that all the time, because in life there are hard periods or harder periods, and then there are easier periods and beautiful periods, and hopefully there are more beautiful periods, or at least periods in which you feel content with your life. But it's just not gonna happen that you wake up one day and everything is perfect forever. Like there are ups and downs in life, and yeah, even these people who you might think that they have it all figured out, even these people have a struggle sometimes within themselves. Maybe at one point they realize that what they thought they didn't want to do, like for example studying, they one day realize that they want to start studying. And also, that's not the end of the world. It doesn't mean that you went wrong the first time, that like the first time that you went away. It just means that you now want to change something, or that there's something that you still want to learn. And even if you don't actually do this because you realize that there are other things in your life that you need to take care of at that time or at the moment, and you don't have the time, or you don't have the energy, you don't have the resources, it doesn't mean that you failed, because you've decided to do one thing, and that means that you wanted to do that thing. So you're on the right track. You can be so proud of yourself for doing what you want to do. And even if you later realize that you did that because of a specific person, even realizing that, you can be proud of that, and you don't have to feel ashamed at all. Like there's no right way to live life. And as long as you're making it, as long as you can feel content with most things most of the time, or at least hopefully more often than not, then everything's okay. And yeah, sometimes it's just realizing that helps me. Yeah, because like I said, sometimes it's like, yeah, if I do this now, then I might not be able to do that later on. And then I'm like, yeah, but well, you just have to pick and choose and go with that and go from there. And then later on, you will see if there's something else that you want to try out or if there's not. And I think also life is kind of a learning process, and I think, yeah, well, maybe that's just my perspective, but I think we are in our lives and always learning, 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 and it would kind of be boring if there's not something new to learn or something new to look forward to. We will never reach the point where we've learned it all and learned everything that there is about life or about specific things in life. So, yep, it's never too late, and everything that you do that at the moment you want to do is right. I don't want to keep repeating myself. There are like so many more things in my mind, but I think in order to not have no structure at all, I should finish here. And yeah, it was really good kind of to just get rid of all of these thoughts. Like, obviously, not get rid of them, but it's like when I write into my diary, I also kind of let go of the thoughts, and then maybe I will think about it later on, but at least I've talked about it or felt it. So that's like the first step. Yeah, at least that's something that I like to do. And maybe you like to listen to that, and maybe not. If you've watched this far, comment your favorite emoji, and I shall see you soon. I hope so. Bye.